Palia today feels very different from the quiet, slightly uncertain game it once was. When it first launched, the foundation was already appealing. A soft art style, gentle music, and a promise of a shared world without combat or pressure. But in those early months, the experience could feel thin once the novelty wore off. Activities existed, yet they often felt disconnected, and the world leaned more on atmosphere than on momentum. Palia has grown into a game that feels deliberately shaped, rather than simply expanded. One of the biggest ways Palia has changed is in how it uses time. The game now runs on a recognizable seasonal rhythm, with festivals, limited-time events, and community goals that give the world a sense of occasion. Winter Lights, for example, isn't just decorative snow layered onto Kilima Village. It transforms the entire mood of the game. Snow blankets the environment, holiday decor appears, new quests send players searching for treasure chests, and events like snowball fights and communal celebrations pull people together. These updates don't rush players. You can participate deeply or simply enjoy the atmosphere, knowing that rewards and progress aren't locked behind frantic play sessions. Community-driven mechanics have also become far more prominent. Bulletin board bundles, donation drives, and large-scale cooking or crafting goals encourage cooperation on a server-wide level. Instead of asking players to outperform one another, Palia frames progress as something collective. Turning in crops, furniture, food, or crafted goods doesn't just benefit the individual, it contributes to shared milestones that unlock cosmetic rewards or world changes for everyone. Over time, even players who prefer solo play begin to feel like part of something larger simply by existing in the same systems. On the gameplay side, systems that once felt basic have quietly gained depth. Farming has expanded beyond planting and harvesting into decorative crops and more intentional plot design. Ranching added animals with different traits, introducing light breeding mechanics that reward patience and experimentation without becoming overwhelming. Cooking has grown into one of the game's strongest social features. Preparing meals together, coordinating stations, and trying to hit star-quality dishes creates moments of planned chaos that feel playful rather than stressful. Even small quality-of-life changes like smoother interfaces, easier access to recipes, or refinements to progression pacing have made everyday play feel more natural. Activities like hunting and gathering continue to stand out because of how social they become without being forced. Rare resource callouts in chat regularly pull small groups together, turning what could be solitary tasks into spontaneous teamwork. The absence of PvP or competitive systems changes player behavior in subtle ways. Instead of racing for advantage, players tend to share information, wait for others, or invite strangers along. Over time, these habits shape the culture of the game just as much as its mechanics. Palia's minigames and side activities also contribute to its identity. The mysterious tower challenge hidden behind the arcade machine in the underground market is a good example. It's difficult, sometimes frustrating, and completely optional, yet it adds texture to the world by offering something unexpected. Likewise, the black market, time-gated to evenings, gives players a reason to care about in-game time without making it feel punishing. Hot pot games, plushie trading, lucky wheels, and rotating vendors turn certain hours into social hotspots, reinforcing the idea that Palia is a living place rather than a static menu of systems. Housing has grown into one of the game's emotional anchors. What began as a simple personal plot has evolved through new home lines, decor themes, wallpapers, flooring, and customization tools. Seasonal styles like fairy tale, winter, or fantasy-inspired sets allow players to reflect their personality through their homes. Improvements to tinting systems, such as being able to recolor furniture directly instead of hauling pieces back and forth, remove friction and encourage experimentation. Housing progression systems that increase how many buildings can be connected together suggest a future where creativity, not efficiency, is the primary goal. Another major step forward is how Palia handles progression. The introduction of systems like lunar paths reflects a desire to give players long-term goals without anxiety. Unlike traditional battle passes, These paths don't expire. Players earn rewards simply by playing, completing daily quests, contributing to bundles, or engaging in normal activities. Free and premium rewards exist side by side, but even premium paths are framed as optional enhancements rather than power upgrades. This reinforces trust, especially in a free-to-play game, and aligns with Palia's broader philosophy of respecting player time. Narratively, Palia has become more confident by slowing down. The main story continues to unfold gradually, and while some players may wish for faster progression, the game clearly prioritizes consistency over spectacle. NPC relationships, daily conversations, and side stories carry as much emotional weight as major plot beats. Characters grow familiar not because the game forces drama, but because players spend time with them. Over dozens or hundreds of hours, villagers shift from quest dispensers to recognizable personalities, and the act of checking in with them becomes part of the daily routine. What truly makes Palia special, though, is not just what it offers, but what it avoids. There is no fear of missing out built into its core systems. Events may be seasonal, but rewards often return in new forms. Progression doesn't reset or invalidate past effort. Players who step away for months can return without feeling left behind. In an industry defined by pressure, optimization, and endless grinds, this gentleness is a deliberate design choice. Looking toward 2026, everything points to Palia deepening rather than pivoting. Continued story updates are planned to move the narrative forward in tandem with friendship systems and future regions. Housing is expected to gain even more creative freedom, possibly through shared or more interconnected building options. Seasonal content appears to be a long-term pillar, growing richer with each iteration rather than being treated as disposable filler. Improvements to in-game communication, bringing news, announcements, and updates directly into the world, suggest a future where players are more informed without needing external platforms. If the developers stay on this path, Palia in 2026 will likely be defined by stability and comfort rather than scale alone. It won't try to compete with other high-intensity MMOs or endlessly expanding life sims. Instead, it will continue refining a space where productivity is optional, social interaction is kind by default, and time feels well spent even when very little happens. Palia has grown from a promising idea into a lived-in world, and its greatest strength may be that it understands exactly what it wants to be. Not a game you rush through, but one you quietly return to when you need something gentle, familiar, and shared. It will be the new king of cozy games in 2026.